Hello and welcome to the video. We're going to try to assist this frog so he's not lonely. Put another frog on there. Welcome to Double Bass Tattoo live videoing. Going to show some quick blast of the tools that we use. It is a Derwent. These are standard artists. We use standard artist pencils. That's white. Prismacolor. Can certainly be they're a medium soft type Prismacolor Premier, which are very good for what we do. Got Scriball, a general Scriball black. Use these Glassochrome super soft whites for highlighting, etc. General grey lead, I use these, whatever they are, they're just a graphite, and then obviously in different flavours. This is a 2B, depends how heavy your hand is. Sharpener, I use sharpener, not a knife. Some people prefer to use a knife, I don't. I think you hear a bit of music in the back. That's Motorhead and the Fireballs. Thank you for the opportunity to listen to that while I tattoo. Greatly appreciate it. We have a couple of sponsors. Lloyd Uke looks after us, and Senior Art Supplies in Melbourne. So if you're down in Melbourne looking for some art supplies, get into Senior Art Supplies, please, and check them out. Very supportive of Double Bass Tattoo. Always start with white. Let's try to position this guy. Thing I do freehand, except if I'm doing a person's face for a portrait, I may trace their eyes, nose and mouth to make sure I get that correct, because you can make a face look very wrong very quickly. So that's just standard artist white, just going on there giving me an idea of where I want to put it, where he's going to fit best. It's, just trying to get his forearm in there correctly. This time it's not entirely easy to see with the video what I'm doing, but just a real basic outline so I know where to proceed with the colour. You don't want to proceed too far with the colour and then find out you've really put it in the wrong spot. It's actually not too bad. So I'll bring some colour into this now. We'll have a look at some green. So these are the Prismacolor, which are a nice I call them a medium soft. They're a nice pencil. What you do is you just work a bit of colour into it. Get too stressed if it's not exactly the colour that you want in your final result, because you will need to blend, of course. The more you blend, the more I find it, more it brings the picture together. In general, how I normally work is just simply having an image on the computer screen in front of me, bit of music on, and away we go here in the studio. Probably one of the most appealing things about frogs, I think, is their eyes. I think one of the key things to them. That's a bit of the green going on. I'll blend that with more colours soon. Just get his eye happening. That's the idea of it in general, is to put the colour on, but leave room around it. You're working in reverse to a tattoo on a human, where you would, when you tattoo a human, you do the black outline, get the whole picture done, normally from a stencil, get it all done from some freehand, work some freehand in there, and then you will from there bring the colour in. So this is entirely the reverse. Where you start, that's why I start with white, because you don't, once you get committed with a black, you don't leave yourself a lot of room to move. So I normally start with white until I'm really sure of where and how it's all going to work. And then we can start working some more colours into it. I have a bit of blue as well, so I'll just go with a light blue to start with, because I don't want to have too much. Run the blue over the green a bit, blend them in. Probably not making a lot of sense at this point. But I can see the screen in front of me and where I need to be. I'll give you a shot of the picture that I drew from after the video. Beautiful thing about the Prismacolors is the medium soft of them. They work very well, easy to blend over. You'll see me consistently blowing the dust off. There's always a lot of pencil dust doing this, heck of a lot. I I'll start to define him a bit more in a sec, and we'll bring some black into it. This can be a bit difficult. One of the hardest things to learn probably at the start is to not rush to get the black on. You consistently feel like you just want to put black on. This is all his underbelly. And up into that blue. So that's just the standard artist doing. Bring some of that together. Again, blow the dust off. Now we'll bring some grey / black into it. Again, I sharpened it before, but although it looks fine-ish, I like to sharpen it better. These Stadlers are fantastic, I find, for what I do, in that I can use the smaller hole which does the outer part of the pencil more. And then you move on into the larger hole and it'll do the end point, which you can see there, ridiculously sharp, which is what you need, of course. From there we're obviously going to have to do an outline, but first off we'll just start it easy and bring in his mouth. Just like any tattoo, I like the final result to have black around it. A lot of my work is of a traditional style in that we get black around it nice and thick normally, but with something like this I'll do it thinner. That's enough to get the mouth starting to shape in. Just define his eye a bit more. Now again, that'll have a bit more white on it soon, but we'll just outline where the eye is. Now he has a natural bit of shade through there. Always, never putting black on, keep it out wide where you need it, because you can work it in but you can't work it out once it's in there. Start off with a little bit of black in his eye, and I'll have to finish that. Again, just working a touch of that in there. We're really finished with white, to be honest, but little mouth here, they sort of go in and then have a pops out down the bottom. Bit of a throat there. So I mean, so there'd be the forearm. Again, just got to go lightly with the black because we don't want to commit too much black yet. Got to going with the black. There's his back leg just poking up here. You'll notice I haven't done his feet yet. That's his other leg. He's camped up in there. Let's get a need to start to bring some greens together. Here's another green, so I'll start building the green now. You'll see this is a yellower green, so hence I'm starting away from the top. This is where you've got to be careful because you don't want to try to work the black back, shade that black back into it. You need to keep that black away from it. Into it with this green again to go back over again, and this is where you just consistently blend. You can pull a touch on that black, but I've got to be careful not to pull too much in. In general, I've used white to outline it, so I knew roughly where I was starting. Then I've worked with colour, but just a little black, not too much black. And then this black's now moving around the eye. I'll finish that up with some white. So this black here I should be able to push through this eyelid because it needs to be dark anyhow. That's not a worry. Keep blowing the dust off. So it's now getting a darker green. Really want a strong green there. I'll add a bit more. Hit the sharpener again. Hit again. Small hole there to trim the wood back. And clean the end with a larger hole to make it nice and sharp. I'll pull the black back out. This is a student guitar, just has plain timber. This is how you pick them up at the shop. Come with just a plain timber top. Make it really easy for a starting project. If you've never done this before, this is a good little starting project. Let's bring some of this orange together now, start to build it out. I think it's time to head towards the bringing the colour up hard against each other, and obviously black's the key here with the eye. He has a lot of black. I'll highlight it with the white in a sec. I'll push some of that black back out. In that orange you can see it's just not sharp enough for this detailed work. I'll sharpen up again. These magnificent pencils. Now this orange I'm pushing the black back out and at the same time blending the black into it. This is a real super soft white. You'll be so careful using the sharpener on these. And temperature today outside, let's say 20 degrees. It's not too bad, but on a warm day, it's all over the place, that white. This here for the highlighting is an amazing result. Work a bit of this in. Some more work from here. This white. Not yielding the result I'd really like, and this is the part of the issue you can suffer. Just trying to, here we go. We need him white. I'll take all the colour off in the same time, and that's more what it's doing. Blending some of that white back with that green. Give him some definition back here. So I've got the yellower green down as the under sort of colour. This down to give him a bit of definition. You'll see I'll work the colour in a sec. You need to get that this is the lighter yellower green. Just want to get that in his bottom lip a bit. Here we should be able to smudge that along nicely. Back into that line. Smudge again. And he's starting to look like he's got a bit of character about him. Get a bit of smudging with this. Really need a darker green as well, or a stronger, more vibrant green, which I'll grab in a sec. As you can see the colour building from the yellow there, going up into the green, taking that back to a white, and I'll get some softer green to make it a brighter One of the other pencils I do rely on heavily are the ink tints. Ink tints here. You can see the green, and these are quite strong colour. So for highlighting and blending back down, the beautiful thing about ink tints is that it isn't ink. So if you want to moisten it and work it in, blends beautifully from moist. That way we can work his mouth into it. This colour is going to work very well. Work it into the black. Leave his I sort of got that yellow slightly compromised there, but we'll just blend back over it again, I think. And this the ink tints are good because they're very soft as well. What you don't need to do though is what I just did there and make a mark out of the picture. Rare I do that, but at times. Little eraser. You do not want to use much eraser at all, if any. So I'll be reasonably happy. We need to sharpen that up. So we've got a bit of a point. Play with there, better. For his arm. blues. Let me get here. Again, blow the dust off. Always plenty of that. To get his mouth in there properly. You'll see that white comes off pretty easily there onto the timber. Just a bit too soft, I think. Happy little fellow. I reach for a white ink tense. They're going on pretty well there. Probably just about finished there with that, the back of him, so I'll just fatten that. Can afford to fatten the outline now, make him more defined. Wee little nostril just up in here. Better enhance that a bit. So I'll reach for a blue, a good blue and a white in the ink tints. But quite a few to choose from. They are always always darker than they look, so you have to be sort of careful. These have been used before, so I'm just giving it a quick sharpen on there. We should be able to bring this blue out really quickly now here with this. Again, thanks to Fireballs and Motorhead there for the music. Keep me concentrating. Here's some needs that white to wrap. This is the ink tints white. I'll push around some of that colour. Beautiful thing about ink tints, as I said, you can soften it with a bit of water and it runs magnificently. Hence why I often draw with a shot glass. You note though that most of the colour's on there now, because once you get fairly committed with the water and the ink tints, that's about it. Now this is just his little feet. Lovely little orange feet. We'll just put some toes on them. It's all scrunched up there. Poor little fella. May not look like much of a foot assembly there at this point, but I'll clean that up with the black. You'll see that come together. So you'll see I've left room here, room, always leaving room around it, and that's so I can finish that off. Use some of this blue wet. You can see how that works straight in. There's a real dark area here with his back leg. Again, the same here. A couple of things to worry about though is that you don't run this stuff too much and you don't make it too wet, because of course it's got to dry before you can go back over it. So, but in the dark areas here we can touch him up with a bit of this. Help define him a bit better. That's getting a bit dry. You don't need much, you just need a touch of water. Just a touch, just a tip. Now his arm in here is all blue. And so you can apply that and blow on it, see if we can't dry it, yeah? Quite dark through here. Beautiful thing about this is once it dries, you can go back over it. When you go back over it, it gives you a good surface to draw over. It's really, really solid. It's great. A bit in there as well. Amazing little creatures, eh? It's got a little, all these little white dots here. I might just circle like this and try to enhance them, and I'll put some highlight in there soon. Noodle around here, the belly, and bring the white back in onto that. Should pull that apart a bit. Better. More up in here, through the shoulder part. We're about done. He's almost there. With this, to finish it, go back over it with a clear coat. Obviously I use polyurethane. Numerous reasons why. Main reason would be that it doesn't affect the pencil. Use cellulose clear, will attack the pencil. And that's absolutely what you're trying to avoid. Not sticking in there too well, so we zip off to our white aqua. That other white is a crayony type white, so the water actually pushes it away. They don't like each other. So when you use these two together, you can push them away from each other as you need to. Shady more in there. And just work on the shade till you got it where you need it or want it. And see that white just sits on top. Another important point would be to make sure you've got clean hands. So at all times, you don't want to contaminate what you're doing. It's getting a bit furry, that bit of the pencil. I'll just clean that up. It's the smallest amount of water. Push some of that white around there. There's a bit of a shine on the eye, I think. Like that. Just looking at most of that blue, appears to be dry. We'll sneak in here, hopefully it is well enough to finish up these little feet. Because he's so to speak touching whatever he's touching down here, the bottom of the guitar / whatever, I'm not going to worry about drawing right to the end of his toes. I will just neaten it up like such. To really define the fatter black line here, this area. And again, you're not really seeing the end of the toes there. You don't need to. His foot's a bit of a strange one at the back there because it's such a long angle. So that blue's nice and dry. Put any colour over that now and it'd blend in beautifully. Work some grey back up through here. And see, this is the super soft white. Push the grey lead around and it just smudges immediately. clearly that application isn't for every point you're drawing, but that area there, that's what we need. Just enhance that eye a touch. Have some Inktense orange as well. Man, they're strong. Which will just highlight these extremities of the eyes, etc. And just a touch of water. You'll see that pop out now. That'll be bottom of the said feet. And don't hesitate, I'm going to post this up on Facebook, and then don't hesitate to ask any other questions from here. More than happy to answer them after the fact. Have attempted to do live video with other equipment and it's failed, so I prefer to do this. He may use some touching up, but apart from that we're almost there, I'd say, with him. So I'll just clean up his too much of that around. So thanks a lot for watching. Any comments, please post. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Again, I'll make sure that I post up the picture that this was taken from, which clearly done it all by hand really, so it's just the idea off the screen and then you just draw away. And now that blue's dry, I can just put in some shading, enhance him out a bit. And from there I'd say we've got a little friend for our other chap there. Thanks a lot for watching. Remember to look out for Senior Art Supplies for all art equipment in Melbourne. We're Double Base Tattoo. I'm Gypsy the Pencil Tattooist. Love doing this stuff. Want to answer questions, ask questions about it, see us at festivals. Thank you for your time so much. Good on you. See you.